Has there ever been a game where it just comes out, you start to play it again, and then you feel like you want to go back to a different time? Because for me, CVS2 has always been a special game. And now that we have the new Capcom Fighting Collection and I started to play again, I just really felt like I wanted to play it on a stick. And I haven't played stick for like 5 years, man. So this game actually got me to get an arcade stick again. So this is what we're working with. So I actually went ahead and got myself the 8-bit Do arcade stick for Xbox. The reason I got this one specifically, well, I have an Xbox and I have a PC. I prefer the black color scheme. I think it looks very classy. And of course, there are other features that actually do work for me. But I understand that maybe some people want to go with the Switch version because it's cheaper. So let me talk a bit about the arcade stick itself.
Now, this little stick right here is actually pretty great. If you notice, it's actually not very big. Perhaps for some people that's one of the drawbacks, because if you put it on your lap, maybe you want it to be a little bit maybe longer. So I remember the Real Arcade Pro 5, which is for PlayStation 4. It was actually also a smaller stick, but that stick was sort of not as wide as this one. This one is a bit wider, so it has more of a, like it's wider in this direction, but it's not longer, right? So the Real Arcade Pro 5 was actually longer in this direction, so it was easier to put in your lap compared to this one. But that stick, the Real Arcade Pro 5, also had its own drawbacks. Like, for example, you would have the start button over here, which is not ideal if you were going to do like mashing and stuff. So let's talk about the parts a little bit, because I think a lot of people they like to tell this story that, oh, this is perfect as a starter arcade stick, which sort of assumes that everyone is going to be buying multiple arcade sticks. And I've had multiple arcade sticks, but it's not that I really needed to buy multiple arcade sticks. It's just something that happened. It just happened that I was buying multiple arcade sticks because I was very into the hobby and just wanted to have more, try more, and have more variety. But also because it was a necessity. It's like some games were running on PlayStation 3, some games were running on PlayStation 4, some games on Xbox. So it was not like today where you just buy like a brew converter or whatever and you just use whatever stick you want and it's going to work. So it was a very different era back then, and people were really careful about which sticks they chose, because sometimes you couldn't fit the parts you wanted, you couldn't put the PCB you wanted, it was not easy to mod. So we are in a very different age of sticks, let me tell you that right now. Okay, so let's talk about the parts a little bit. So I have been playing with sticks for more than 15 years. I've gone Sanwa, Seimitsu, Hayabusa, I've tried them all. I had sticks with all of them, like full sets of Seimitsu, full sets of Sanwa, full sets of Hori, which is not hard to do. You just buy a Hori stick, it's full Hayabusa, whatever. So if you had to tell me, what do you think about these parts? Are they any different from Sanwa? To be honest, no. And anyone who tells you they can feel any difference in the stick or the buttons or whatever is either being a snob or lying to you. That's the bottom line, in my opinion. So this stick is pretty great. You really don't need to do anything to it. There's no modding required. You don't really need to change the buttons. You don't need to change the stick. You don't need to do anything to it. Like, just think about it, man. You buy this stick, it has wireless, the dongle comes here, it has a USB-C cable, it has like a headphone jack over here, which is basically, if you're on a pinch, like if you're in a hotel taking an Xbox or a PC or whatever, you hook it up, you hook this thing up to your computer, and if you don't have any audio output anywhere, you just put your headphones right here. It's a full sound card on the stick, man. On the stick, man. This is a feature I really like, and a lot of you are not gonna get it, but I'm gonna tell it to you anyway. You have a knob right here which lets you change the joystick to be between the D-pad, the left stick, or the right stick of an Xbox controller. Now, this is a godsend if you're playing really ancient games, like the original support for Xbox controllers, like the X input or whatever, or the direct input. I don't know which one, but it's really messed up sometimes. And those really old applications, like really old emulators or whatever, they can only use the left stick on an Xbox controller. So that's messed up. If the lever was only mapped to a D-pad and you cannot map the D-pad, you cannot map the left stick to it, you would not be able to use the stick at all. And you will have to go through some stupid software like Xpatter or whatever, but not here. You just turn it off. You can do it directly on the stick. So there's another feature that nobody talks about, which is, of course, it comes with the premium or whatever of paying for the Xbox compatibility, but you have full share button support right here. So this button, if you press it, it will take a screenshot, and if you hold it, it is going to record an instant replay of whatever you're playing at the moment. So this, for me, is a really nice feature. Like, of course, you can do any sort of software tricks, like, oh, let me just remap one of these buttons to do the same thing, but it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess with that. I don't like using extra software. I just want the thing to work. And this button does all the social media things perfectly. You just press it, screenshot. Hold it, video. Done, dude. Done. You don't need to do anything anymore. Of course, if you're going to be using it wireless, like I am, like, let me tell you, if there is any lag with the wireless dongle, is right here. You can see it's right here. This is the wireless dongle. So if there is any lag whatsoever with the wireless dongle, I cannot tell. I cannot feel it. It's perfect for me. Like, it's even better because I do not want to have a long ass cable going from the computer, which is right next to me, right next to the monitor. I don't need an extra cable, long cable going from here to here all the time. I can have it sometimes, but I don't want it all the time.
So what are we going to do today, actually? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to go ahead and actually change the parts of the stick. Like, I know I just told you you don't need to change the parts, but I do actually want to change them for one simple reason. Basically, for me, the parts are a little too loud. And if I'm going to be playing CVS2 and my wife is next to me, the noise of the stick is going to drive her insane, right? So I'm going to change the parts for some silent buttons and a silent joystick. And since I live in China, I'm going to select, just for something brand new for myself, I'm going to choose 100% Chinese parts. So let's go ahead and look at what we're working with. So these are all the parts we're going to install today. So these buttons are the Sutong LP3 low profile, and these are very nice buttons. They are very quiet. They use low profile keyboard switches. And so the joystick, we're going with the Trumba JOB 8S silent joystick. Now, I know someone is bound to get a kick out of this. This is the only Japanese part we're putting in this joystick. It's the wiring harness for the Xbox 8-bit arcade stick, direct from Sanwa. Now, here's what the internals of the stick look like when in stock. There's nothing out of the ordinary, just regular quick disconnects. And the joystick here, this is the only thing which is different. It uses an 8-pin interface instead of the regular 5-pin, which is why we got that wiring harness from Sanwa. So after several days waiting for parts, here is the final build.
We have here the Sutong mechanical buttons, all of them installed. These are still stock 8-bit 2 buttons, I don't mind them. Here is the star of the show, the Chuanba Gravity JOV8S, perfectly installed, and the only sound wall part in this build, the wiring harness. That's right, that's the only official sound wall part we're using, just the wiring harness for the 8-bit 2 Xbox arcade stick. So that is the whole build. Let me turn it over and I can show it to you how it looks like on the outside.
Now, I don't know about you, but I think it's looking pretty sweet. I'm using my favorite, say, Mitsu orange bubble top, and the parts feel amazing. They're very smooth, responsive, easy to press, and I really love the gravity joystick as well. It's so smooth, man, and I'm very happy with this stick, honestly. So I'm just for the last part, I'm just going to do a little bit of a sound test so you can see the difference in the sounds. I know it's coming from a camera, so you can all tell very well, but let me just go ahead and let you listen to it for a little bit and see what you think. So that was my build for the 8-bit 2 arcade stick. I hope you enjoyed it. I have been playing a lot of Capcom vs. SNK 2. I love the thing, and I'm very happy I did this build. I'm really surprised with the Chinese parts. I'm very happy with them. I don't feel the need to go and buy Sanwa or Zenitsu or Hayabusa. These are perfect for me. They work perfectly. They're very responsive, easy to play on, amazing. I'm very happy with the parts. So I'm going to be posting in the future some more content on Capcom vs. SNK 2, fighting game things and things about technology as well. Whenever I have the time, especially things which run fighting games or run anything which is related to or adjunct to fighting games, I'm going to be talking about those things in the future. So I'm very small, I'm just starting out. So if you found my video helpful, entertaining, or interesting, or you think someone else might find it helpful, please help me by sharing it, liking my video, or subscribing to me, so I can keep posting more content in the future. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time or online on CVS2. So bye bye.